Come in, come in. So nice to finally meet you two.
Wow, your house is so cute.
And just as nice on the inside, no?
Yeah, the architecture is pretty
That's
nice.
nice, dear. I hope you didn't have any trouble getting here.
Oh, not at all.
Actually, it was kind of rough. We ran into it.
Now, let me show you around.
I like the concept. I like the execution. I thought the performers, the actors and actresses did great. Miss Talbot stood out. I thought it was funny. Just the whole overall concept. She's kind of like she's like when she was like, for example, when she was like when she like was in the bedroom, she's like, "What Talbot? What's going on?" She's like, I thought we would play cricket." She's like, "But it's 3 a.m." I was like, "That's funny." That got me.
Great job of subtly foreshadowing the darker aspects of this film with the fly at the beginning. At first, you don't really think much about it until you see where these characters end up in the end, and then you realize why the fly may be hanging around this English breakfast. So I love that dark comedy aspect of this, where you think it's going one way and then it takes a turn south. The intro shots were all very beautiful, very relaxing. It made me want to go to an English bed and breakfast, but of course, everything is not what it seems. I loved the cyclical nature of the story and the fact that it seems like Mrs. Talbot does this often and continues to get away with it every morning. I very much enjoyed how diabolical Mrs. Talbot was and how creepy she is at the beginning, and that sort of pays off. Very odd how she keeps a mannequin in her bed, and that sort of sets off these more dark horror elements when we realize that she is not who she says she is.
The way that they decided to open this really set up the story and prepared the audience for what they were about to see, which was great. I loved that. Their cinematography, what they did with their lighting and the set, everything was right on point. It was great. The story itself was awesome. I loved the beginning, middle, and end, and the twist to the story was really cool. And they made some great music choices too.
All too familiar for sick, murderous people that they just look like innocent people. How this person is collecting some souvenirs from everyone that they have killed, using this appealing house as a luring technique. And the breakfast served at 9. The music at the end is such an ironic twist, and I love the scene where the person comes with a mask and there's some pursuing there. It was just very hilarious. I had a great time.
It reminded me of movies like Psycho, for example. More than Psycho, I would say even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because we have this final scene with a lady from the agency having breakfast with the dead bodies. That was really terrifying. This is a horror comedy, but I think the horror element is very powerful in here. That's definitely one of the things that kept me glued to the screen from start to finish.
I loved how this film started, where it feels just so sweet and innocent. Where you think it's just a sweet, innocent old lady running a little B&B, and she's crazy. It's one of those things where trust your first instincts. This film was perfectly executed. It was something where it didn't really feel like a horror film, but at the same time it did. Because you were, with the score, you were really wondering if these people are really dead. Did she give them something to just put them in a coma where she can control them? Or is she just flat out psycho? It's one of those things where it plays with you a little bit. And those are the films that I think most people enjoy, the ones that play with your psyche a little bit.